It's just one word: Constitution, Constitution, and Constitution. My perspective is that Constitution is the ultimate law of land. So when you don't believe in your ultimate law of the land, this is what is going to happen, what is happening, because we are nowhere. This new era of Iran and US war, yes, I think has created a new lines for the society as well. I mean, we would not, the concept is of surrender versus the power.
Viewers, welcome from Aligarh Institute of Political Leadership. As you know, from last 6-7 months, we have been trying to make videos for public good, public awareness, our country's problem, historically, its perspective, and some potential solutions. Today we have a very distinguished guest. She is a social activist, Mrs. Ashba, my friend, and we are lucky to have her here after many requests, finally. Welcome, Ashba.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Ashba, almost 80 years of Pakistan in making, 1947 and now 2026. Next year will be 80th birthday, inshallah, of Pakistan. Why the baby is 80 years old, but the baby is weak? What do you think? Why the baby is weak after 80 years, whilst India in our neighborhood, Bangladesh, who departed from us in 71, then Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan. So they are all progressing and we are regressing. What do you think? Where did we go wrong?
Thank you so much, Shiraz, for being, for inviting me. And I would be very honest with you regarding this issue. You know, this is something very close to my heart, I would say. The problem is not, here the problem, whatever we talk about it, is the government. The state doesn't do that. The people don't do that. I think it's the policy, the consistency of the policies. That's the major, I think, the root cause for being what we are today and where do we stand today. So my point is, I have been into the social activism for last so many years now. 15? It's almost 25 years. 25 years. It's almost 25 years. So my concept is that you need to have the core of success, I would say, is the constitutional right of a citizen. So this is something which I know a lot of people don't like it when there's a digital, war in between the WhatsApp groups, people talking about it. And I just put one line, that is the silence of the people of Pakistan. What is for my side is the ignorance of the constitutional right of a citizen and the constitutional negligence and ignorance from the state perspective wise. So people of Pakistan have no idea what is the social contract between the people and the state. Once I don't know my social contract, how would I really be taking stand against the government, their policies, and whatever, the things happening around. So your question is where we are today and what Bangladesh and the neighboring countries are. I think the people have been trained first. The societies have been brought up to that level of understanding of their social contracts with the state. I think this is the core issue. So I have been fighting now, I would say, not as a citizen rights advocate. I'm more about the constitutional right advocate. I think this is the reason.
What you want to say is that as long as the people of Pakistan know about their constitutional rights and they demand for it, and then they get it.
Yes, definitely. If you allow me, I can share a few examples with you. I mean, when we say the equality, when the Constitution says every citizen has an equal rights or opportunities, but when you look into the government policies, it's not being implemented.
It's the opposite, rather.
Not opposite, but somehow it's not being implemented the way it should be. So when you have two systems running in the same state, how would you really perform well? When you think that one group of people have to behave or being taken up this way and the other group has to be taken up this way. I mean, you are creating a rich and poor concept in the Pakistan. Disparity. In the disparity, you would say. But this is not something happening in other states. Government is government for everyone. So government has to behave equally with equal rights, opportunities, status, whatever the services they are giving, it has to be equally.
But Ashba, when government, as you say, that for them every citizen should be equal, when government is not represented by the common man, there is no representation in the government of a common man. So how one may expect that the policies by the government should be catering the common man or the flourishment of the common man?
That's the core, because when I say, I'm from a middle class, I understand the situation in the state, while billing the utilities bills these days. I mean, it's disastrous, like with electricity bills, you see the sui gas and everything around us. So when I understand it when I try to go up and as a leadership qualities or as a leadership skills, I understand what a common man understands. But my point is exactly, I agree, the people sitting up in the houses, the parliamentarians, whom we call being elected, they have a complete, true disconnect between a common man and a state. So what is happening in our state is there's a lot of disconnect between a common man and a state. Government does not believe in that social contract between us and the state. What they believe in, कि जिसकी लाठी उसकी भैंस.
Might is right.
So वो ये समझते हैं, what they understand is that it's their right, and we understand that it's their right, and we have surrendered our right, constitutional rights to them. But look, what had happened in Bangladesh, what had happened in Sri Lanka, Nepal and around the globally now, you look at it, people are coming out.
Yes.
So this new era of Iran and US war, I think, has created a new lines for the society as well. I mean, we would not, the concept is of surrender versus the power. So now Iran has actually delivered us that no one is powerful and no one can surrender. You expect the people to surrender against versus the power. So this is something which our government has to understand that. But what I am feeling is it's a root cause of the political parties. I would, if you allow me, because I know that you are also running a political party. The problem among the political parties is the core. They are into the personality-driven parties. They are not political parties.
Right, with manifestos or with...
Yes, they are, whatever the political party, it's not a political party. So it's a huge gap of political party, political system in Pakistan. I am 100% sure, Shiraz, that the day Pakistan has a political setup, which is a political setup, not a personality-driven setup. The government, the people going from a political backgrounds would behave differently, because they know that we are political people and we have to behave and we have to go by the book, what the constitution, what the social contract tells us. But now problem is that they are not political parties. They are the family, the dynastic politics. Even if it's not dynastic, it's a personality driven.
Right.
So all personality driven, what the one person says, everyone is following it. No, this is not the way to do it. This is a recent example in Bangladesh. They were following the personality driven party, was thrown out.
Yes.
Same was Sri Lanka.
Even their founder was.
And they were the founders, actually. But then the same thing happened with Sri Lanka as well. So my point is, the core, what your question is, why we are here and what had made us stand here today, what we are, because of the lack of being any political party in Pakistan. So I think in next few years, now what my point is that our new generation, the younger generation, which we call it Gen Zs, they have understood that they are not going to cope up with the personality-driven groups.
Or they are not going to be fooled by these political parties.
They've been fooling us by political elites. So now there will be no political elites. Personality driven. They're not political elites. So now the Gen Zs have taken over Pakistan, and what I've seen it, and I'm seeing it, believing, and seeing is believing, that these younger people are not actually taking those dictations and those being foolings from them, and they're not happy with it. Yes. So this is something what they have started doing, and putting bans on, like freedom of speech was banned and things. Everything is being with institutions like this NCCIA, and they're just creating these kind of bridges between the people, and then, but they have to understand that no more political gimmicks. Now what we need is more on the personality driven. So the day I tell you, Shiraz, like it's been 80 years, another 20, even if just 5 years, are the so-called who claim them to be political parties, if they start behaving like a political party, I tell you, we would be another superpower, how Iran has really created themselves to be a superpower.
So Ashba, we talked about the problems, root cause of the problems, lack of understanding by a common Pakistani about the constitution, and since he does not have the understanding, or she does not have the understanding of constitution, so then it is difficult to demand what constitution offers. Also the disconnect between the politicians or the ruling elite or the government and the common man. So what solution do you think? How can we get out of this quagmire? We are now 80 years. As I said, the baby is 80 years old. So what solution do you offer, or do you think would get us out of this quagmire?
So first thing, we are no more baby. You're right. So we have to come out of this myth, actually, that we are still baby. And no, we are not baby. We are a strong nuclear power and a group of a nuclear club power. So we have to behave that way. So we have to behave like a nuclear club power, and what my opinion is, what I have a feeling about it, and what I've been sharing with a lot of people, that again, the concept is the consistency of the policies. Now, how to be consistent of the policies of the government? The people in the government have to be the people who've been connected by the people, and the people in the government have to be from the people.
Right.
So this is a huge disconnect, I think, between the people and by the people. The problem is, again, we need to set up a strong constitutional political system. The political system is being clearly defined in in the Constitution. If we go by the book, Shiraz, what I am trying to actually convincing everyone through my lot of High Court petitions, like I do a lot of constitutional petitions, I would just add in here. And my perspective is that Constitution is the ultimate law of land. So when you don't believe in your ultimate law of the land, this is what is going to happen, what is happening, because we are nowhere. We don't have any direction, we are directionless. So, but once we have a direction, my concept is, why aren't we following the direction? If we can't create new things, at least whatever we have, we follow it up. Now, the second is how to move it on. My thing is that you have to train your people. You have to bring them to that power of their constitution rights, their constitution understanding.
Awareness.
Awareness. It's the ignorance of the people as well. So it's not, it's not what we are, where we are today. It's not just the government who brought us to here. It's the people of Pakistan also.
When our common man, as a majority, is not educated. You are from middle class, you could go to a good school, your parents could afford it. I am from middle class, I could go to a good school because my parents could afford it. But probably 85% of our population, they are unable or were unable to go to a good school. Their school fee is 20 rupees a month. Whereas a good quality education school today is not less than 25 or 50,000 rupees a month. So how can you expect from a 20 rupees month student to come up and study the Constitution, understand the Constitution, and then demand his or her rights as per Constitution?
Shiraz, I accept my apologies for that. With due respect, no, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I am here in front of you from a government school with a fee of 20 rupees, as you mentioned.
50 years back?
No, but we studied in government schools.
Yes, they were.
So when I'm talking today about the Constitution, it means I had an information and the idea of Constitution. But the problem is it's not the people, I could afford it or not. It's the state actually which made us to that level, they made us, or they brought us to that level with ignorance of the people as well, you know.
Right.
I mean, why don't we speak about it? Why don't we have a good education? Why don't we create the same system of education, equal system of education? Yes. I mean, I've been writing it the day I have studied, I'll just share that with you. I studied in PF school, which is an autonomous school, but it's not a private school. And I remember that we had these children from the chief of the air staff to a Sipahi in our schools. We didn't have different schools that the Sipahi school would be different and the chief of the air staff child or senior official. No, we studied in the same school. So now my concept is where the governments need to work and we all have to follow it. The government schools is for everyone. Yes. So why don't you make it mandatory for every government official, whether from grade 16 to grade 22, they cannot work in the government if their child does not go to a government school. No government employee and a political person and the Senate or in national or provincial assemblies can be a member of such office or these forum until or unless their children go to the government schools, public schools and the public hospitals. Believe you me, they would start pouring in what the money 853 billion rupees in Benazir income support group, they would divert that money to the government schools and the government public schools because they know it, their children, their parents, their families have to go there. So this is where we all become quiet. What we did, we said, okay, you don't do it, we make our own schools. They made us they made schools for us, but they did not take us to the schools made by them. By the government.
It was their responsibility.
It was their responsibility. So my concept is very clear about it. I'm very clear. It's just one word, Constitution, Constitution, and Constitution.
And abiding by the Constitution.
I mean, it's like abrogation of the Constitution by the state is disloyalty to the state, and we all have to stand it. Now, when I say disloyalty to the state, we, me, you, and everyone is responsible for that disloyalty because we made them, gave them space to be disloyal to the state.
To abrogate.
So, to abrogate and be disloyal to the state as well. See, my concept is that, I have a bureaucratic background and my children didn't go to government schools because the standards, you are so right, it's not 20 rupees, it's not 50 rupees, it's not 100 rupees, it's the standards.
Yes.
Right? So how would you bring the education to that part? Because you have to put that money in it.
Yes.
They are not putting money in it.
Bring the quality.
Yeah. So we all have to be there. I mean, this is something which I feel as a concerned citizen of Pakistan, yes, that when you go to, even in other Europe and other European countries or wherever you go in the West, they have private schools, but they have public schools. Not that their public schools are, their people don't go to the public schools, but their public schools, it's a government's responsibility. They have to bring them at that part.
Yes.
I mean, I have a lot of friends in the West and in different countries. Their children go to public schools. And I asked them, why you send your child to the public schools? They said, oh, the schools are very good. The child has been taken care. They are well educated. The teachers, we are satisfied with it. Right? Because it's their right to get the education by the government. They go to the public hospitals. I said, why don't you go? Because why don't you go to a private hospital? So they said, it's the duty of the government. And the government is giving us that opportunity to go to those hospitals. So now it comes in, why are we silent? Why are we silent? Why were we silent? Because we are equal partners in crime with disloyalty to the state. We also want, no, why should I be loyal to the state? So when you are disloyal, look at the way the constitution is being shattered, the people are being shattered, and now, with the term is, we all are same, with the phrase of sab Mahmoodo Ayaz ek hi usme saf mein khade ho gaye. So something like this, what my suggestion would be, and I'm so grateful for giving me an opportunity to come and share my view for this as a citizen rights advocate, and it's more like constitutional rights advocacy, is that please stand with your constitution. Constitution is the ultimate law of land and is the same as it that you have to obey your parents, you have to take care. Once you obey your parents, the parents are going to take care of you. So Constitution has that parenting feeling for you. If you follow those rules, the constitutional rights of a person, and I'm very much sure about it, that Pakistan would be again, this was not the Pakistan where I have been raised up. Right. You're much, much younger. I mean, I would love to say I'm 60 years old now, mashallah. And I mean, I have lived the best life in Pakistan, but last 20 years, it's a miserable state, and it's getting worse and worse day by day. But every day. And people are blaming each other. The poor are blaming the rich are blaming the poor. And everyone is looking at the government and state, blaming the state. No, what is state? It's the people. It's not 10 ministers, the federal cabinet. No, it's the people, because we are silent. We are accepting their disloyalty. Whatever these people are doing it, they are from us. We elected them. So now what's the point is? The core of the point, with your permission, we have to select or elect people who are from us, who have the idea and that pain for constitution. So this is something which my take from your reply is.
Thank you very much, Ashba. Viewers, I hope you got a very different viewpoint today from social activist Ashba, and we are very honored to have her with us today. And I hope we saw few months ago in US No Kings movement against their current president. So maybe we see some movement like this in Pakistan headed by Ashba and few of her like-minded friends. Thank you. Keep watching us and keep sharing your feedback for Aligarh Institute of Political Leadership. Thank you. God bless you and God bless Pakistan.